Yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah. I'm coffeeless today.
oh, you were down there for an hour. Why didn't you make you a thing?
I didn't know how to make it.
Oh, come on. You've done those before, surely.
No, I don't have.
You don't have to.
No, I've never.
They don't have them at like Amazon or work or
I
nothing.
I don't buy anything at work.
I figured they'd have them free.
No, hell no.
Get over here. I raised your microphone. We've been getting too many complaints online. I didn't know we could raise these things. I'm going to raise mine.
Who told you?
I got no internet. Shit, I didn't plug us in. Unbelievable. Get in the comments. See if we're frozen.
Are we frozen?
Are we frozen? Sorry, shit's going on here today. Talk to the people, Rip.
Technical problems, I got here early, 3 hours early.
the day you're not supposed to be here early. Red Shirt Friday, somebody said. Are we frozen? It's showing on my end. We have no internet connection. Are we frozen? Somebody help me out here.
It says word. I'm changing my name, whatever. Al Robbins said gentleman. I don't know if...
See and hear us. I don't know. It's showing bad connection, Rip. A little worried about it today.
Oh.
Red Shirt Friday, baby. That's it. Got the Red Shirt Friday on. Got Rip's microphone cranked up. Mine cranked up. Look how high these are. You can make them higher, probably.
You're always talking about.
Look at that. Now we can talk right into them. That way you will quit talking this way.
No,
we got to get you sitting straight up, and
I'm trying to
talking.
sit straight up, but you're
everybody, and I even lowered the camera.
You're a head bigger than me, so don't.
Well, I know, but usually all I see is your head right down there in the corner.
I slumped down.
Yeah, you do.
I think I slept.
Here's how you talk. Like this. Every video I try to put together, you're doing this, and then I can't put anything together. Every video is this way.
I'll be at work. I think I fell asleep 12 times.
I try to do shorts, and this is how I get you every time. Head turned every time. Neck. I don't even know how. It's got to be uncomfortable for your neck.
Oh, my neck's hurt for years and years.
Maybe is it because you do this all the time?
No, it's hurt because we were taught to tackle to just spear them, just run your head through. Right? So arm tackle, no, just ran them.
Touchdown Reed hurt my neck in college.
What do you do?
I don't know. We were playing wrestling. I had hooked up with his ex-girlfriend, so he got mad.
Oh, wait. Now, who was his ex-girlfriend?
Well, I'm not going to say it on here. No, I'm not going to say on here.
Oh, so the woman of his dreams, and you was hitting it, wasn't you?
I'm not going into detail, but
that means he's guilty as charged.
So it was like a Sunday night. He came down to IU Southeast, and I don't know. We're trying to make up, I guess, and we played like one-on-one wiffle ball, and then we wrestled and
one-on-one wiffle.
I had to let him. Yeah, we put on my baseball uniforms, my home and away baseball uniforms. Might have been a little drinking involved. Then we started doing some wrestling, so I had to let him get the upper hand because I just hooked up with his ex-girlfriend, and so he rolled me up on my neck, and it's never been the same since.
And he did, he told me that in confidence one time.
What's that?
He rolled me up on the phone. He said, "Yeah, Von Lies, he stole my girlfriend. I can't get over it. I'm ready to commit suicide." I just said suicide. Right. It was all I said, like suicide. It was all I was saying. And then Von Lilas, he always got a foreign object in his right pocket. It could be a piece of steel. It could be a piece of iron. It could be a pencil that's sharpened at both ends so we can gouge.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. I was just killing time.
Oh, okay. Well, let's killing time.
Well, I can't see the thing because
you don't need to see it. I read it to you. Okay. Remember, that's all I am really here for is to read this stuff to you.
I thought you're supposed to be.
And then you're supposed to talk about all of it. You always have this backwards. You always want to do this. Well, look. I should read it to you, and then you just take over. Okay. I read you the questions. I'm like the host or whatever. You're the star, and then you just go through and answer all the questions.
Okay.
Holy shit, you got a beard.
Yeah, I was going to. Yeah.
Hey, Rip's growing his beard back, everybody.
I didn't shave for about 3 days.
The people have spoken, and Rip is going to grow his beard back.
I seen Lawler. He's got the beard, so what the hell, right?
Are you going to grow it back?
I might, just go.
Yeah.
Santa Claus. Look, then you'll look like a teenager because I'll have a white beard.
Just dye it. That's what I did last night. Dyed it.
Yeah, but then
little Lila said, "You dye your beard?" And I said,
"Yeah."
Yeah. She's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it."
Oh, okay.
You start dyeing it, man. You dyed it forever. Why not? Why stop now?
Because A, it costs money.
Oh.
B, it costs money.
I've seen some of the things you spend money on. Beard dye would be perfect.
I don't have money to spend nothing on.
You could. It's possible. All right, let's see who's in the chat today, Rip. We got John Tucker in green, Media M5 in green, Buckshot Kid. Hey, thanks for doing all the comments, Buckshot Kid. He puts for the algorithm on all our YouTube posts. Thanks for doing that, man. Media M5 said, is Tiz okay? Okay. Oh, I was saying we may be a little late. He said concrete or something else or asphalt. Hey, Michael Costello back in the house. Haven't seen him in a while. He's in green. Howdy, y'all. Stephen Keys, word. Talion says, Kick-Ass Friday with Rip Vaughn and Stephen Keys. All right. And they also said maybe I should get you something to sit on to make our chair or raise your chair. I can't raise the chair anymore. Maybe get him a booster seat, something like that.
Well, I could get my seat up to here, and then you could get on.
This one doesn't go any lower. Maybe we could switch. They're pretty even, though.
Yeah. Well, your legs you're like Johnny Long legs.
Like you just got like I don't know. I feel like you do it on purpose almost, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's on purpose. I can't read this.
Well, you don't need to read it.
Oh, okay.
I don't have my contacts in, though. Jeff Scott's in the house. Afternoon. He's in green. All right. We need some questions, man. My wife still has me working, so I've worked every single day this week. I'm literally on my lunch break right now. I got off the phone at what was it, Rip? Like 12:01. No, I'm just explaining to the people why I don't have this show ready. 12:01. Got on here. I mean, what do you have ready for it? You got pictures and videos and topics and what have you done for the show? Not to like since who's our last guest? Carrie Silkin. What have you done for this show since Carrie Silkin?
We're still living off Carrie's residuals.
I don't think so. I don't know if you've seen our YouTube payments or not, but we'll be lucky to get paid this month. All right, let's see. What do we got? Anybody else got any questions out there in the chat world? Hey, big news, Rip.
Big news.
The Outrunners got a victory on Ring of Honor TV.
Yeah.
The Outrunners got a victory.
They're so over, it's pathetic.
I'll tell you what, I didn't know that you had to pay for Ring of Honor TV. It's like a $9.99 a month subscription to watch Ring of Honor TV. Did you know that?
No.
So Turbo and Floyd had tweeted out the link or go to watchroh.com to watch this match that they won. And I got there and couldn't even watch it. You got to pay $9.99 a month. Anybody subscribe to Ring of Honor TV out there in our chat land? Anyone? I think if Tony Khan is watching this show, Tony ought to give us a free membership, Rip, to Ring of Honor TV.
I just turned it off again.
Great.
I turned my phone off.
Great. We're on live here. Ring of Honor TV. Don't you think Tony ought to give us a free pass, free membership, free whatever? Since
he ought to pay us money to watch it. He ought to pay everybody money to watch his show.
No, we love Tony. We love AEW. We love Ring of Honor. The Outrunners should be the signed stars of the show.
That's agreed upon.
So yeah,
they're the biggest stars they got right now.
Yeah, they are. They
out and runners.
They were saying in that Sting match, they were like, yeah, these guys are really becoming fan favorites here in AEW. It's crazy how. Did you see this one? This is probably copyright stuff, but.
Truth back from the Outrunners. We did it again. Oh yeah, Lexi. If you're anything like me, and I know I am, everywhere we go, we hear it. The people, the runners, asking, begging, pleading, please, more Outrunners. Well, Christmas has come early, pal, because the Outrunners are here, and the ass kickings have only just begun. Tell them, Turb. I gotta tell you one thing, Truth Magnum, that hurt a whole lot, but not as bad as the hurting that we just put on those two guys out there. Truth Magnum, you think this is sweat? Thank you, Jim, because this is sports gloss. The Outrunners are covered in it. We win every day in it. And Truth Magnum, Turbo Floyd, we're here to Ring of Honor to show everybody who is the best tag team in wrestling. Because if you haven't seen the Outrunners, you haven't seen nothing yet.
It's not sweat, it's sports gloss. I think that is classic. Look at that shit. Yeah, that just does not sound like one of those WWE pre-written, pre-scripted, cookie cutter promos. That sounds like a DCW class on the fly. One guy hit the other one. He goes, I can tell you this, that hurt real bad. Like it's just not. Oh, I just think it was awesome, man.
A little bit of improv there. Put it that way.
And I just wonder if that was. I'm assuming that was one take. Would be my guess. It could be wrong on that. I don't know. I think the Outrunners are awesome.
Well, that's why they're Turbo and Floyd, and that's why it's the Out and the Runners. So that's why it's when they're on TV, it's box office magic. And I think they're on ROH, and I think the ROH used to be free until the Outrunners come over, and now so many people watch they charge them more.
The Outrunners made it $9.99 a month. It was free until the Outrunners showed up.
Yeah, now they say, "Oh man, we're getting such big numbers that they're going to charge. They got to get their money back."
All right, let's see if anybody's on there. Oh, Opinion Haver, he's in there. He's an honor club member, he said. So he pays the $9.99 a month. I'll help you with ROH later on. I don't know what that means, BDM5. Too cheap for ROH TV. Oh, how to pay us to watch it. John Tucker in green and does a super chat. I tell you what, if it wasn't for John Tucker, we might have to fold this whole show. John Tucker is a self-supportive person of Ask Rip Rogers Live, of Wrestling with Rip Rogers, the whole damn thing. Who are some of the first painted wrestlers you remember?
First painted wrestlers? Oh, it'd probably be Indians and stuff.
Okay.
Like Chief Jay Strongbow, or like Billy Red Cloud, or like Bobby Bold Eagle for Dick the Bruiser. They'd all have the face paint on.
I remember that.
Yeah, usually the Indians, I think, of what it was.
All right. How about after that? After like more face paint, an American then. Let's go that way.
Well, Ultimate Warrior put the.
Well, surely he wasn't the first.
No, you're asking me.
This
is well, it ain't.
I mean, the Legion of Doom painted their face before the Ultimate Warrior, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
The Road Warriors, I would say Barbarian and Warlord painted it before.
Not the Warlord. You want Hawk and Animal, right?
No, I'm saying also Warlord and Barbarian. They had to have painted their faces before Ultimate Warrior, I would think. Could be wrong. Axe and Smash, Demolition. That probably was before. Surely there was nobody when you were a kid or high school or getting into the business. Nobody painted their face besides the Indians that you can remember.
Pretty much.
Great question, John.
And usually the Indians were always a chief.
Yeah,
there was always a chief.
I don't know what else. What else would they be? Do you know?
Just a brave. The chief's like the general, El Presidente, the leader.
Brody James said, "How do I share my ROH membership with Rip? Rip's probably not going to watch it, so there's really no need probably to share that. I don't know if you can share it anyway or not. I don't know if that's an option.
I just need to know if the Outrunners are on there or not, so they can spin to win."
Any women you regretted sleeping with, Rip? Like the next morning, did you wake up and say, "Oh man"?
I never woke up with an ugly one in my life.
Really?
No.
Wow.
I'd always if I was at their place, I'd hit and run, so then I'm gone. Or if then I'd hit, or if they was at my place, I'd just hit them, and then as soon as I got mines, I'd say, "Out of here, honey. Give me a call someday."
Rip, I think you need to speak up a little bit today. You seem pretty mellow, pretty laid back, pretty gotta amp that voice up a little bit. We're in TV land here today. I take I'm glad they didn't ask me that question, man. I'd have a real long list I'd have to sit here and go through.
Well, we could post it on the internet or whatever.
Can the RH? I don't know if RH is a new person. Welcome to the show, RH. Mr. Rip Rogers, can the Outrunners save pro wrestling? Is the question.
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. We ought to have this Outrunners specials on every TV show. Should have the Outrunners on it. You know, they're on the NWA too, so the Outrunners are everywhere. And I think all the banks all over the world they're having some kind of meeting because it's going to cost so much money to sign the Outrunners that all the heavy hitters they're in a bidding war, thinking about it's the kayfabe bidding war too. So Turbo and Floyd, they hold the keys to the wrestling industry. They hold the keys to how many people watch because spinning is over. They get to see the posing abilities of the former Mr. Olympias, Turbo and Floyd. And it don't get any better than that. You know, Tony Khan's got how many guys under contract that aren't even on TV. And here right now, you got the hottest free agents in the history of world professional wrestling today and of all time. The Outrunners, Turbo and Floyd, they're dominating almost everybody's TV airways.
I know, isn't that funny?
Spin.
Can't get a contract, but are on TV every week.
Yeah.
And everybody under contract never wrestles.
Right. What a rib, huh? Well, wrestling's always been a rib, you know, so they signed up. So
you brought up the NWA. Have you seen the rumors on the NWA that they lost their deal after that cocaine spot they did on a pay-per-view?
I see a lot of stuff that's just hearsay.
Well, I think it's probably true because now NXT just went to WB.
Well,
surely they're not going to sign them both.
Well, there was somebody else I was working with very closely. He thought he was on the verge of getting the WB too.
Yeah,
for the same thing. So in the wrestling business, they'll take every rumor there is, throw it against the wall, and see what sticks. Whether there's any truth or not, they don't care.
So you think when NWA announced that they were signing with the WB, that wasn't true, or you think the rumor that it didn't happen because of the cocaine spot's not true, or you just think any of it, none of it?
The main thing is, all of a sudden, WWE wanted to stifle any competition they were, so they've got their NXT on a WB now.
Yeah, right. So that's what I just said. They signed them instead of
right. And when you're looking at how many different WWE shows can you watch? Because if you're teaching the same style and whatever, it's boring. Excuse me.
Okay, but they're already on TV. They're just changing networks. I mean, the NXT is currently on TV.
Yeah, what was they on before?
I don't know, USA or something. I don't know. But WWE supposedly signed them. So, right, actually, they still have a TV deal. It was never with CW. I don't know. Well, if NWA has a TV, I don't know who with. Did they announce who it's with? I have not seen that. I've not seen that anywhere. So supposedly they got yanked after, and supposedly, rumor has it was Billy Corgan's idea. That whole skit or whatever you call it for the pay-per-view is supposedly his idea. So what?
Well, Billy's a great fan, and he's a historian of the wrestling business, but he's also in the rock and roll business. So what's accepted by him as the norm is not. It's like I'm out there, and you're holding me down, not to say stupid stuff, because I've been in the wrestling business for so many years. Billy was in the even more entertainment business.
Well, he still is. They're like on tour.
Yeah. So A Day in the Life of Billy Corgan is a movie, and, and every day it could be a different movie. And so he's seen it all and done it all. So when normal people see this, oh my God, they're repulsed by something. There was a cuss word. Oh, he called somebody a name or this or that, or they're implying that somebody drinks or takes drugs or whatever. But in hindsight, it was a mistake, and who knows if they'll have to pay for it or not. But in the wrestling business, usually everybody makes mistakes. You're punished for a little while, and then they test you a while, but you're figured back in because you pretty much understand the business. I bet it won't happen again.
We'll come back to some of the other questions, but we got a hot super chat here. We got to get to the super chat. Michael Costello in green, baby, and a super chat. Who got more girls, Rib, you or the Rock and Roll Express?
Oh my God, had to be the Rock and Roll Express. When they were in like North Carolina and stuff, oh my God, or Louisiana, wherever they were at, they were the men, and all the girls that watched the TV, they all wanted to be associated with the Rock and Roll Express. Let's just put it that way. And Robert Gibson, he's let's say he's one of the top induees in pro wrestling.
I've heard that.
So he'd put a wrist lock on it sometime. You're going, damn, that's a hell of a hammer. So,
would you say Rock and Roll Express or Fabulous Ones?
Oh my God, yeah, you're right on that. Wow. When Sweet Stan was there, oh my God, there was whew.
Yeah. So I was watching. God, the Warlord was on WSI. Great person to have on. I can't remember if it was Ricky Moore. It was somebody. They were talking about hooking up with women and stuff. He's like, God, I don't remember if it was Ricky Moore, but he was on the road with somebody. He's like, yeah, one night called me into the room. It's like 10 women in there and said, just turn around, pick one, whichever you want. Take them. He said, so I picked one, took her back to my room. He said it was that easy. Just, I don't remember if it was Rock and Roll, but one of those people had just a room full of girls and said, yeah, just take whichever one you want. They'll go with you.
The Warlord, he's about the biggest, most muscular guy I'd ever seen in the wrestling business. He was just so, God, he was so big. I had him when I was in Kansas City. And God, he was a nice guy. He was naive as shit. I remember he was almost going to quit and go back to the lawn business. And I said, man, there ain't nobody in this business that looks like you. You just gut this son of a bitch out. Somebody will find you. They'll groom you. You'll make a lot of money and have a great career. So don't go back doing the lawn business just yet.
Yeah, he made it.
And he was quite successful.
So talking about some people now in the chat, might have been the first to paint the face. Missing Link. That's probably a good one to throw out there.
Yeah.
Dingo Warrior. Yeah, I forgot the Ultimate Warrior was the Dingo Warrior, and he did paint his face. I think at that time too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was world class, maybe. So yeah, it could have been Road Warrior back then as the Dingo Warrior. Kind of forgot about that.
Dewey Robertson. Now that was a missing link.
Right. Yeah.
And then a lot of times he'd drive in Mid-South. We all got, me and Bundy and him would go together. And Link, he was notorious. Now in the wrestling business, usually it would be, if you're on a long trip, don't sleep, help keep the driver awake. The Link, 5 minutes, he'd be sleeping. So usually it was me driving like the first half, Bundy driving on the way home, whatever, and Link would just sleep. So we said, Link, you're going to have to, we just pulled over. So, well, wait a minute, I want to get back. I said, well, all you're doing is sleeping. So we'll just sit here until you drive us home. So he drove a little while. Then he started acting like he fell asleep again. Bundy then got Bundy mad because Bundy was easy. He'd get all pissed off. So Link would win. He had too much experience for King Kong. He cracked him. All right, awesome. Get over there. I'll just drive. Good rib. Link's he's just fucking chuckling over there.
Just couldn't imagine me in the car with all you guys back then. I mean, you talk about being with them and riding around with Bundy, riding around with the sheep herders, riding around with the Samoans. I mean, I thought it was crazy riding around with like I got a brewski and some of those guys. I can imagine being with those guys. Well, thanks, Michael Costello. Really appreciate the super chat there, man. That's awesome. JP Galvatron or somebody in the house. Howdy, boys. Daniel Ferrari. We might have some new people here. Maybe I just forget, but those names don't ring a bell. Did you ever work with Steve Kern, Rip?
When we did some show, when I did work for Memphis some, and then when I was working for Ole's Championship Wrestling from Georgia, a lot of the Memphis guys would come in. Jerry Jarrett would bring his guys in. Geigel would be on TV, who was the president of the NWA, and Ole was on there, and then some of the Tampa boys would come up, and the North Carolina guys started coming up. So it was an infiltration of a lot of guys from different territories. What they were doing was that they were getting seen on cable TV was what it was.
Did you ever wrestle against the Fabulous Ones?
No, I was on a lot of shows with them, but didn't work against them. They were always working. They were always working the tag team when I wasn't in a tag team situation at that time.
Well, we got to skip a couple because we got another super chat. John Tucker single-handedly saving this show and this channel. Who were some women wrestlers in ICW? Okay. Leilani Kai? Question mark.
Yeah, Leilani. She came in and we booked her through Moolah. Sometimes we get the girls through Moolah, but a lot of times we use Debbie Combs, and Cora Combs was Lady Satan. And then after Cora must have been about 80 when she finally quit.
Well, who is that?
Cora Combs. That was Debbie Combs' mother.
Okay.
And then they trained Donna Day. So of course we had the nickname for her was Pigface, but she was over with me. That's all that mattered. At one time it was me and Randy and Buddy Landell living at this building in Lexington, and then Debbie would come in to see Randy, and then she'd bring Donna with her. So, and I was getting tired of her, so so I hooked her up with Buddy Landell. Then all of a sudden through the night you're hearing, Buddy, where are you? And Buddy's hiding, trying to get the hell out of there. Buddy. But anyway, yeah.
So is that Debbie Combs?
Yeah, Debbie Combs, and then her mother was Lady Satan. And they could have 25, 30-minute matches every night, and that's what they wanted to do. And then all the girls that Debbie Combs trained or like their mother and with like Donna, they all could work. They could work with anybody, and they could go 30 minutes every night. And they all worked hard.
I think Debbie Combs and Lady Satan ever hooked up with a guy together.
I'd like to see that one.
Debbie Combs, she was pretty good looking, wasn't she?
Well, she was not old, and she always had that ice white hair. And then she dressed like a pro. I mean, when she wrestled, she had the hose on, like underneath, the good wrestling boots, a beautiful ring jacket. She knew how to wrestle. She knew how to work. She knew how to be a pro.
But she would hook up with the boys, though.
No, she was like Randy's. Whenever she come in, she was like Randy's girlfriend.
Oh, I thought you said. Well, okay. Well, I thought you said Buddy Landell. Didn't you?
No, that was with Donna. That was Donna Day. That was Pigface.
Oh, that was Donna. I thought you.
Yeah.
I thought I said it was. Are you talking about Debbie Combs? I thought you said yeah.
Oh, I was talking about her earlier.
Not with Buddy Landell.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No, Buddy got with Donna.
Oh, gotcha. Is Debbie Combs still alive?
Oh yeah.
Man, we should have her on the show.
Debbie Stostecki.
I got. Did she marry a wrestler?
That was her dad. I don't think she ever been married.
Oh, really?
Yeah, her father's name was Stostecki, and that was Cora Combs. Cora Combs has been in the business. Golly.
Let's get Debbie Combs on here. I used to have some posters of her.
Were they sticky?
No, they were the big ICW posters. I think
well,
she was just
sticky,
she was just on them. No.
Well, you could focus on her picture right there and just get mesmerized.
Still no.
Okay.
I was too young then. I was only like 7.
Yeah, it is a little. Yeah, I haven't heard or seen of that. Might have been a Guinness Book of World Record. I wonder if you could even do that at age 7.
I don't know. I don't know. Opinion Haver says, I just watched the ROH Outrunners match. It was the shits, but hey, it was only 50% their fault. We don't talk like that on this show, man. If the Outrunners were on a match
This
or
is
in a
the
match,
greatest match we've seen today.
if they were in a match, it was good.
Yeah, somebody's got to get over.
Yeah, this shit's. Come on, man. Don't come on this Outrunners pro show.
Don't shit on the
Outrunners on our show.
Hey, let's get one thing straight. If you're on our team, then you could strike out 10 times in a row, and all you other people go fuck yourself. Outrunners are over, baby.
Yeah. Opinion Haver, go talk about it on whatever your show. Your NXT review that I'm supposed to plug that I always forget. NXT Wednesday mornings at 9:30, I think it is. Opinion Haver and Big Ray Hernandez. If you want to shit on the Outrunners on that show, go ahead. You don't come on Ask Rip Rogers Live and do it on this show.
Ask Rip Rogers Live is on right now. So Ask Rip Rogers Live. And what was we talking about? Okay. Outrunners.
Oh, the ICW girls.
Okay.
Briscoe banged everything. I don't know what Briscoe is. He talking about Robert Briscoe? Surely not.
I hope so. I thought he was from the non-pussy getting side of town. So, hey, all of a sudden he's over with me.
Medium 5 said Robert Gibson luckily had a big hammer he had to do with that eye of his, making women wonder who he was looking at in bed.
Well, it's a trait.
See, you can't have it all, baby.
What happened was the hammer was so big and so heavy that it threw his medulla oblongata off, which in turn, it got your cornea and retina all messed up. So, see, he's sort of like Big Bobby Black and had the gimmick eye. But that was I think that was from excessive nuttage is what it was.
Probably so. Knocked his eye right off socket. Ray Baker wants to know, what kind of hair coloring did you used to use, Rip?
I can't remember. It's El Cheapo. I know that.
Yeah. How often did you bleach your hair back then?
Once a month.
That's it?
Yeah, really? Once a month, and it would probably grow out about that much. But then as a heel, you would get heat because you would have the dark roots. You son of a bitch.
That's not natural.
You're bleaching your hair, you big pussy. You big sissy. I said, yeah, and what's your point? I said, if I'd have a head like you, I'd have it circumcised. Oh, my God.
Oh, I've heard you say that before.
Oh, yeah, that was a standard line from Crazy Robertson.
And then I remember people used to flip you off, and you'd say,
sperm count, IQ, or number of, But I better not say that.
It was funny. Adrian, I don't know what he's talking about. Adrian, question mark. He said, Briscoe banged everything. Adrian, question mark. Not sure what's going on. Visvex, Buddy was awesome. Like a mischievous child at times. Uh-oh, we got to skip down here. We got a big 5-banger, Rip. We got to get to that.
Oh, Medium 5, what's he said?
Medium 5 is not only a member, baby, but he's also a super chatter. Who did Rip think had the best ring gear? Gear was kind of plain back then, I guess. But to Rip, who does he think changed that?
Well, Gorgeous George was the original.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the original human orchid who went from George Wagner to Gorgeous George, and he was pretty much like about the first guy to make his hair ice white. He'd come to the ground. He would come into the pomp and circumstance song like Randy used to do. Randy Savage used to do in WWE or F, whatever it was at the time. And he pretty much was really one of the first really entertainers. He would have the male manager come in and he'd throw out Georgie pins with like bobby pins, and he'd throw them out and the fans would be trying to get them. So he was the bad guy, but they would cheer him. And then he'd have the guy would come down. He had the manager and he'd be doing the air freshener. And then he'd make it a speech about they had to freshen the air because they had all the stink. If they're in Chicago, and Chicago has the stinkiest fans in all the world. If they're in New Jersey or if they're in New York, hey, in New York, they have the stinkiest fans in all the world. So that was his shtick. So
okay, it was a super chat question. So I'm going to re-ask the question.
Oh.
Who did Rip think had the best ring gear?
Oh,
like
him.
Gear.
It was him.
But you didn't say anything about his gear at all.
You mean you're just talking about
like
trunks.
Tights, boots, trunks?
Well,
boots,
everything he had was he took it a notch above everybody else. That's why he was Gorgeous George. and that's why he made more money than anybody else than the champions did. He was such a traveling attraction, was what he was.
What about in ICW particularly?
And what now?
Like in ICW.
Randy had the best robes.
And he kind of was one of the only ones really with like stars on his trunks. Most people wore like blue or red or.
Yeah, I always wore. Well, I wore different colors.
Yeah.
Then sometimes I get the K&H, the 5 O's, like the 5-0 blue, 5-0 green, 5 or whatever. Almost everybody in the wrestling business at one time got all their stuff from K&H from Johnstown, Ohio. So that was when I get that big old package and there'd be a big old $52 cape and a silver bolero and another bolero, and then about 6 pair of trunks on it. You was in hog heaven. You'd save up all your money so you could get your new ring gear.
It's awesome. Thank you, Medium 5. Really appreciate it. Rip can get a Taco Bell now today. RH, look at this. We got another one. RH, baby. Big $5 super chat. Thank you. Appreciate it a lot. Do you think Ric Flair will be in Sting's last match?
Wow. If Flair was out there in Sting's last match, the last one almost killed him.
Did it?
Yeah, they said he passed out twice in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And then because Rick's going to want to go, he's want to make you think he's Ric Flair at age 32 is what he's going to do. And even if he'd have a 7-minute match, he'd go balls to the walls, and I'd be scared for his health. Of course, he might want to. What a legend it would be if he went out.
Well, he already wants to. He's already said he wants to.
Yeah, okay. So, hey,
so the question is, do you think he will be?
I think that could happen because they're both working for Tony Khan, so he could have it on the biggest pay-per-view, however he wants to do it. That'd be a great finale for both of them.
I think yes. Ric Flair. So what they've come out and said so far is Ric Flair says he wants to have another match with AEW, but he said they're not going to let him. So what that means, I don't know. I think
that means right now it ain't the time.
Yeah. But Sting's last match, I think, is scheduled for next year in, I think February, March, April, somewhere in there, early of next year. I think Flair's going to do something. Maybe they'll make it a 6-man. I don't know.
Where he can. Then it ain't them.
So you think just the two of them?
No. You want man-to-man, legend against legend.
Oh, it's not going to be. You think it'll be against each other?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh. I was thinking of tagging together.
Oh, hell
I mean, that's the way they're making it look kind of right now because he's out there with Sting.
Oh, okay.
God, Sting versus Flair? Do you think they could do? Whew. I don't know. Think that'd be good?
I'll tell you what, it'd be their last time to see him. Put it that way.
I mean, Flair's last match was a tag.
Yeah,
well, so it wasn't even a single.
See, here's the problem.
Oh, he's 75.
No. If Flair was 40 and he's working 60 a night if need be, that's just a day in the office. Mm-hmm. But then you take time off. Now you got to start from scratch.
Yeah, he's done it
right
once.
But if you're looking to get a 7-minute match in, hell, you got a 5-minute entrance for one, 5-minute entrance for the other one, blah blah blah. Then you'd do like the Japanese, they bring all the flowers out before the match and all the presentos and stuff like that. Then you have a 7-minute match, and then you have a thing after the match, or the scrum, or whatever they want to call the thing, and all of a sudden you got about a 45-minute segment of memories galore, baby.
I just feel like if Flair's last match was a tag, that this one will at least be a tag again.
But they don't want to see that in a tag.
Who doesn't
want to
see
man to man?
But I think they're friends though. Like they're.
So what? Hey,
I don't know, man. They sold out the last place as a tag. I mean, against.
Where was that at?
Wasn't it Nashville? I think that was Jarrett and Jay Lethal against Flair and Andrade. I mean.
I was with Jay Lethal on last Saturday.
Where's that at?
Yeah, in Nicholasville, Kentucky.
What was that?
Dylan was on the show.
Yeah,
and I went up there. That's when I went over to me and Randy Savage's old house, and I put that video on of standing in front of his house and everything.
I never saw it.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh.
What, you think I just follow you on Twitter? Like, just look at all your shit or Facebook? I mean,
no, you ought to. You might learn something.
You ought to send me that stuff.
I thought
man.
I sent it. I might have sent it to the one you don't look at.
Just text it to me.
Oh, well.
I mean, just text it to me. I mean, do you have it on? If you have it on your phone, you have to do it right now.
I'll get it right now.
Just text it to me. It'd be the easiest thing ever is just to text it. John Tucker, baby. Look at this. What's the story with the bear on the ICW
opening? I'll give you the whole story.
All right, finally, yeah, the whole story.
The guy's name was Rip Tyler.
The bear's name?
The bear man's name. We called it. See, there was two bear. There, the bear man from Canada. That's the guy that he'd run Newfoundland and stuff. God damn it! 50 calls a day for no fucking reason on a goddamn phone.
The bear story, yep.
Yeah. But anyway, the original bear man, he was in that wreck. Adrian Adonis got killed about 1988 in Newfoundland, and he was with the bear man when they was in some kind of wreck or whatever it was. And that his name was, and that was Tuffy Truesdale. And he did the bear in America and in Canada. But then we used the guy out of, his name was Rip Tyler, and we used, and he was out of Atlanta. I think it was Georgia, so I don't know if it was Atlanta or not. But I remember I had a hair match with him in Combs, Kentucky. When
with
they
the bear?
With Rip Tyler.
Oh, okay.
And so he lost and he had his head shaved. So in other words, he wanted an extra payoff because we used the bear every night. And we would have, and it was always the best draw in any town would be like, let's say we went into Seymour, Indiana, and the rules were simple then. You didn't have to abuse, you just didn't abuse the bear and stuff. It'd be like we'd have the wrestling thing, and then there might be 10 people to go out and wrestle the bear. They'd have to sign the waivers and everything. But you bring your friends and family with you, and whoever got the most applause, it'd be like Von Lilas. They'd hold his hand, and there would be the king, all your relatives. You sold 50 tickets is what you would do, and you got the most applause. So Von Lilas would be the winner of the Seymour, Indiana, wrestling the bear champion. So we'd go all around.
But did I actually wrestle the bear? I guess I'm confused on that.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd wrestle the bear for, let's say, a minute. And then...
But would all those be ringers? Surely you didn't just use fans wrestling a bear, didn't you?
And then we usually have a heel manager wrestling him. Brenda wrestled the bear.
That's what I'm saying. So they were all workers. You didn't really pick
No. We really picked them out.
So you picked out somebody out of the crowd. And
they volunteered to wrestle against the bear. They would sign a waiver.
It just seems...
There would be like 10 guys there, right? And then let's say you wrestled the bear, and then
I wouldn't wrestle no fucking bear,
huh?
I wouldn't wrestle a bear.
Well,
go to a wrestling show and be like, hey, yeah, I want to wrestle that bear and get eaten alive. That sounds awesome.
How, the wrestler Louis Martinez, who was in ICW as Apache Lou, he had about this much of his finger bitten off by a bear or the bear. It slid down his muzzle, and the bear bit his finger off.
Well, I just can't believe fans would get in there.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's a chance to be a star, right?
Wow.
I never seen anybody get hurt by the bear because Louis had already had his finger cut off when I met him, and he told me the story. So
the story of the bear in the opening is just that bear that you're referring to.
And then Crusher Broomfield actually wrestled the bear in a match that night. The bear knew how to work. It was funny.
Wow.
And he would be sitting out in the back, and he had all these tranquilizers stuck in his butt so he wouldn't be like a real wild animal and stuff. Yeah, see, he's all
gimmicked.
He's all gimmicked up when he's in there. But then and you couldn't do anything to him really. So on the ICW on the opening montage, there's Crusher Broomfield wrestling the bear.
I remember that.
We had the best montage.
Yeah.
For being such a little way back company, but that wrestling the bear, that if you was the Hazard, Kentucky, the Jackson, Kentucky, the Knoxville or whatever, especially in Eastern Kentucky, we might have that bear in for 2 straight weeks.
Why didn't you bring the bear to Seymour? You guys came to Seymour a couple of times. I never remembered it.
It had to be on
That'd be in Kentucky, probably.
Probably. Well, every state was different, and some of them you'd slip the agent from the athletic commission come down. You slip a little money, and they wouldn't see anything. How was it? Oh, it was perfect. Give me a hunt on the side, and we're fine.
Thanks, John Tucker. Appreciate it. Good question. Hey, Greg Smith in the house. Greg Smith's in the green. He's probably our longest. Him and Michael Costello, I think, are the longest two subscribers or members of this channel. And Greg Smith, of course, agrees with Rip. He always does.
Well,
you and Greg, I tell you, man, two peas in a pod. Greg says, I agree with Rip. It has to be Flair versus Sting 1-on-1.
It'd be like Ali Frazier, the rubber match.
I don't know. They could have some Gaga to kind of clutter it, make it easier for Rick to hang in there. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. John Tucker said Bobby Heenan talks about the bear that had an act. I don't know what that means. Talk about a bear that had an act. So did this bear have like a routine and act? Did he know what was going on? You said he could work.
Oh, he'd come in, and then at the end of the thing, then they would give him a big old 2-liter bottle of Pepsi, and he'd drink that.
Oh, really?
He'd sit there and drink the Pepsi.
Wow.
I remember the bear used to be at the Jackson County Fair a lot of times, and they would wrestle the fans.
Man, I just never remember that.
Well, you went to the Hoochie Coochie place at the Jackson County Fair, didn't you?
Mm-mm.
Never did?
No.
I remember watching Pauline LePage because she was a hermaphrodite. So she would actually get on stage there and show her male organ and her female organ. And this is Pauline LePage, hermaphrodite. It costs an extra 50 cents to go in the special tent.
How was that?
Awesome.
The king was probably there.
It was the first. If it wasn't the first time I'd heard that, I would put it over more. But
yeah,
it was good. If Randy Savage were still alive, what would his relationship with the wrestling industry be like today, do you think?
Wow. That's a good question. That's like years ago, and I worked with Randy more than I worked with anybody starting out because he had me in the Maritimes. And I was with him almost every day. And we was doing 40 minutes a night, and I was the most rotten fucking wrestler in the history of wrestling. And he carried me, and everything was called in the ring. All the time I lived with him, worked with him, was in business with him for 4 years in ICW, everything was called in the ring. Then all of a sudden, when they started talking about his match being choreographed with Ricky Steamboat, I refused to believe it. And then I said, finally, well, hell, he must have changed. But I don't know how anybody can have a match that way because you forget stuff. Shit happens. All of a sudden, your time's cut in half. What do you do if you have your prearranged, scripted fucking bullshit? And it's not organic. When you're in there wrestling and you're working, something will happen. I said, well, hey, they really bid on that son of a bitch. I'm coming back to that. Okay, now I just changed my my bookmark in mid-story, and I'm going on a different direction because I found something else that they haven't seen that night. Any match you'd ever watch of mine, we never did the same shit. There wasn't no routine and stuff like that.
The only thing, I mean, everybody did say he had like it all laid out, but
yes,
who knows if they followed it? You know, they could have. Nobody ever really said that. Like, oh yeah, they did every step. Maybe they did change it, but it still goes down as one of the best matches from other people's views of all time. So they did pull it off.
And the one reason it was in WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think his time was going to get cut.
Right. But what I was getting at, the next match was Andre against Hogan in the Slam match.
Mm-hmm.
So the only business of that was
the
Slam. So the match before then would have all the great wrestling and all high spots and all this different shit because they knew the last match, all it was whoever slammed the guy, they were the winner. So that was a great idea. It was.
Yeah.
But I could not have a scripted match. There ain't no way.
I think too, at least back then with theirs, they at least sold stuff and put stuff over and still slowed down.
Right.
The difference today is just next.
I watched
no emotion. You know what I mean?
I watched Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher from the 50s when they were in heels. and they had a 2 out of 3 fall match. There was no high spots. It was wrestling. It was beating each other back and forth. It was selling. It was registering, and it was great. And I just sitting there watching it. There's not no kickouts at all. There was just pins.
Yeah.
And if you have too many false pins, and a false pin don't mean nothing.
And typically now it's such a rib. They do all this stuff and kick out of everything, and then the finish will be a roll up.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
After you just took
we hit you with
19 power bombs, and now you're gonna roll me up and beat me.
And 10 atomic bombs, but it's all a 2.9 count, and the skinny fat guy kicks out of it.
Yeah. And then they roll him up and beat him.
Yeah.
Brian Dennington. So I was a child watching adults get drunk and watching wrestling on TV in the 80s. These people would start fighting each other in real life. It was serious. No joke. Memphis wrestling is serious. Possibly.
It used to be all wrestling was serious.
Yeah.
Now none wrestling is serious.
Jason Adair. Maybe I said that wrong or right, but thanks for a lot of comments on the videos we put out. Really appreciate it. So he's sorry he's a late slacker here today. Greg Smith, I'm late. Gonna miss. Did a part I missed. I'm gonna watch the replay. Good deal. Thank you, Rip. Awesome answer to the gear question. Thanks for the question. Let's see. I'm trying to get caught up here. Bear had moves. Spot Monkey Bear.
Spot Monkey Bear. Well, he was more of a brawler, you know.
I see AEW having Flair tagging against Sting in either regular 6-man. Flair is too much of a liability. I don't know. They say he's not going to do it, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get some more questions in. Listen, I've got I had a call. They hung up on me. Oh, well, I've got about 6 minutes here, and I got to get rolling. Maybe next week. Shit, I ain't going to be around next week at all. It's Thanksgiving. I know Rip has big Thanksgiving plans. Hey, you said the other day it's just another Thursday, but you won't work. You don't work on Thanksgiving, do you?
No, but I don't work on Thursdays anyway.
Oh, God, you got me there.
Yeah,
all right.
So I said, shit.
Got me there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. This is our last. I have 3 pictures left. Usually I do 2 a week. I've got 3, so I'm just going to do all 3. Look at that. The King, City Champs, Reading Elementary football.
They're lucky St. Ambrose didn't have a team when I was.
Look at that. They got some big purple pants back then. Did they have the purple pants when you played?
No.
So everybody had their normal uniform, right?
Uh-huh.
But the big kids, like 82 and 60, you can kind of see the purple through there instead of the white.
They probably had to use the varsity.
They had to go. They would have to go to the high school.
Hey, when you're small town America, when I was growing up, you had a lot of kids were really fat because we didn't know we didn't know about nutrition.
Yeah,
and we didn't have planned exercise. Like you had recess. But it wasn't like you had PE class or anything like that. So we were woefully, and I never even heard about weights and stuff until I was like 14 years old. I never seen anybody like that. I remember seeing Joe Hubbard, the guy was from Seymour, and he was in the Mr. America contest. And I seen him, I said, and his sister lived in back of my house on Marshall Drive in Seymour, like, one street over, and I saw him, and I about shit my pants. And he was Roger Stockelman's like uncle or something like that. But I said, "Oh man, this guy."
So anyway, the King was a city champion football coach. Look at that. Look at he's got the stash back there.
Yeah, the porn stash.
See what else King did. Oh, look at that. He was the Crothersville cross country coach. Cross country team is experienced. The King said.
That's right. They had a Letterman.
Manick should be our strongest runner. Tim was 8th in the conference last year.
Was it Tim Mannix?
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, can you look at that?
Well, it says Mannix
should
be our strongest runner. Tim was 8th in the conference. So yeah, Tim Mannix. You know him?
Well, he was the guy that he had the 400 meter. Well, they did 440 yards then, but he was the best one of all the schools in Southern Indiana.
It was, why, don't you?
Because he had the King.
He had the King as
but I remember
coach.
going to watch him in the sectionals when he was in high school. And in Crothersville, you didn't win nothing. Yeah, that's one of the smallest schools there is. And all of a sudden, they take off this 440-yard dash, and this sumbitch takes off. I said, oh, he's going to die. Yeah, he died. He killed everybody. He just kept running and running and running and running.
Well, he must have had a great improvement under the King's tutelage because he was eighth in the conference when the King took over.
Yeah.
Now you're saying he's like a world-class runner, so that's what the King can do for you. And look what he doesn't have in that picture. What does he not have?
He don't have a stash.
Doesn't have the mustache. I think they
probably banned
made him shave it.
Made him shave it.
And then he quit and gave him the big FU. And
that was like Coach Britton, John Britton. He had me down. I had my Elvis sideburns. He just got me on the ground and just shaved it up to the earlobe. And I told my dad, and he just laughed. Well, it was discipline, right? Oh, look at Von Deeligan's cruise, and this is in the bowling, right?
So this is him and his dad. So the King and King Senior leading the doubles, first place.
Shit. The King had that wicked hook.
No, he threw a straight ball.
Yeah, straight ball, 100 miles an hour is what he did. Because the King, he threw it like he grunt. Then he would walk back like he was the king, like it's all me.
Did you know he was a cross country coach?
No.
So we've seen him in girls softball, girls basketball, manager of real old women volleyball, softball player, home run champ, cross country coach, bowler of the year, euchre player of the year. I mean, the King did it all, man.
Promoter of the year.
Promoter of the year. That would even. Oh, and remember he wrote the article.
Yeah,
we did the one thing where he wrote the article on Ox Baker and somebody else, and then he wrote children's books too. We had on here one day.
You know, the King knows about living, baby.
And he has done a little bit.
That's why the King's
everything.
The king.
All right, we got John Tucker here. We got one more super chat. Said, who was it mud wrestling? Oh, mud.
Oh, in the ICW opening?
Yeah, was there mud?
Yeah, it was Brenda and Pam Watson.
Brenda Britton.
Yeah, and
Rip's valet.
Pam Watson. She was a girl wrestler. So
was she with ICW? Or
yeah.
Because earlier you didn't mention her, so tell us who Pam Watson is.
Well, she was just a young girl about 18 years old, and her mother was arena rat, and they'd come to all the matches. And when a lot of times, like in Cynthiana, they'd help at the box office or help in the concession stand.
Was she hot?
She was young and not heavy, so she was hot.
Young and not heavy, hot. All right, we got to get going. Or I got to get going. Opinion Haver said, had a great Thanksgiving. Thankful for the Outrunners. Yeah, don't. And our internet's breaking up. Check out Opinion Haver and Big Ray Hernandez. I think it's Wednesday mornings. He should plug that in the chat whenever it is on their YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us today. Watch the replay, like it, smash it, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, you didn't plug my book on Wrestling with Rip Rogers or Lessons from Rip Rogers.
Look at that right there. It is. Boom.
Okay.
Right on cue. Pro wrestling book on Amazon. Rip Rogers book. Go buy that shit for Thanksgiving. Look at that.
And then get my t-shirts.
You got
at ProWrestlingTees.com, ladies and gentlemen.
Got the t-shirt right there.
Don't get any better than that.
And I'm probably going to get fired from this job, but it's the last day, so I don't even know how to get this thing off here now. There it is.
It's Rip Rogers Live.
All right.
Rip Rogers Live.
Rogers Live, and we're
big gold.
Don't get any better than this.
So swole that I
hell yeah.
shit closed. So I money fold and rubber band wrap. And when